This is a true life story inspired by real events in Osun State. It is the story of four brothers, all wealthy, all successful, who allowed one inherited property to destroy their relationship, their families, and their father's legacy. They were not poor, they were not struggling, yet greed, ego, silence, and lack of planning turned brothers into strangers. In this video, you will hear how inheritance conflicts start quietly, why siblings fight even when they are financially comfortable, the emotional and social damage such disputes causes, how families, marriages, and children suffer in the process, lessons parents must learn to avoid these painful outcomes. This story is not told to shame anyone. It is told to teach, warn, and preserve families. If you're a parent, this story will make you think deeply. If you're a sibling, it may change how you see family and money. Watch till the end. The lessons may save a family one day.
The first sign that trouble was coming did not start with shouting or lawyers. It started with silence. After their father's burial, the four brothers stopped greeting each other the way they used to. Phone calls were shorter. Family WhatsApp messages went unanswered. Visits reduced. Smiles became forced. Outsiders would never guess there was a problem. They were wealthy men. Very wealthy. Each of them had built something solid with his life. The first son, Adebayo, was a successful contractor who handled government projects across the Southwest. He owned houses in Ibadan and Abuja. His children attended private schools abroad. The second son, Kunal, was a businessman with interests in importation and logistics. He drove expensive cars and was known in Osogbo for his generosity during festive seasons. The third son, Sola, was a medical doctor who had worked abroad for years before, returning to Nigeria to open a private hospital in Ile-Ife. His wife was also a professional. The last son, Tund, was an industrialist. He owned 2 factories in Lagos and employed hundreds of people. He was the quietest, but financially the strongest. 4 brothers, all wealthy, all respected, all comfortable, yet they were about to destroy themselves over one factory. The factory sat on the outskirts of Osogbo, old, but valuable, built more than 40 years earlier by their father, Chief Adito Kunbo Adeyemi. The old man had been a legend in his time. He started as a cocoa trader, then expanded into palm oil processing. That factory was his pride. It was the first thing that made his name known across Osun State. Even when his sons became successful, he still spoke of the factory with emotion. "This place trained me," he would say. "This place fed you. This place must never leave the family." But what he never did was write a clear will. He talked, he promised, he hinted, but he never documented. When he died at 89, people praised him. His burial was grand. Politicians attended. Pastors and imams prayed. Drums sounded. The community mourned. But inside the family house, a quiet storm was forming. At first, everything looked peaceful. They agreed to share smaller properties easily. Land here, houses there, money in accounts. No serious argument. Then the factory came up. That was when the tone changed. Adebayo spoke first. He was the eldest. His voice carried authority. "As first son, Baba already told me this factory is for me to oversee. I will not sell it. I will manage it for all of us." Kunal laughed, but not happily. "Oversee? You mean control? That factory is worth billions now. If we sell it, everyone can take his share and invest." Solo adjusted his glasses and tried to sound calm. "Gentlemen, please. Baba always said the factory should stay in the family. Selling it goes against his wish." Tun said nothing. He listened. His face was unreadable. The meeting ended without resolution. That night, each man returned to his house, carrying anger quietly. The next meeting was worse. Lawyers were mentioned. Documents were brought. Old statements were remembered differently. Adebayo claimed their father verbally handed the factory to him years ago. Connell said that was a lie. Sola said moral responsibility mattered more than legal tricks. Tund finally spoke. I want the factory, he said calmly. Not to sell, to modernize it. I have the capacity. Everyone turned to him. That was when jealousy entered the room openly. Adebayo felt challenged. Connell felt threatened. Sola felt sidelined. From that day, the brothers stopped seeing each other as siblings. They started seeing enemies. Lawyers took over. Petitions were filed in Osogbo. Court dates were fixed. Family secrets were exposed in affidavits. Their father's name appeared in newspapers, connected to lawsuits. The factory gates were locked. Workers were sent home. Machines rusted. And while the men fought, their families began to suffer. Adebayo's wife became bitter. She reminded him daily that losing the factory would make him look weak as first son. Their children noticed the tension. He became aggressive, short-tempered, distant. Connell stopped attending family events. His wife encouraged him to fight for his right. His once open hands became tight fists. Friends noticed he had changed. Sola, the doctor, began losing focus. His hospital suffered. Staff complained he was always distracted. His marriage grew cold. His wife hated the family drama and withdrew emotionally. Tund, the quiet one, suffered silently. His children heard whispers at school. His wife cried at night, wondering how wealth could not buy peace. The case dragged on for years. Court adjourned. Judges changed. Lawyers grew richer. One brother died suddenly from high blood pressure complications. Before judgment was reached, he died angry, still fighting. At his burial, the remaining brothers stood apart. No tears, no unity. The factory was eventually sold by court order. The money was shared, but something had been lost forever. The Ediemi name was no longer respected the same way in Osun. Cousins no longer gathered. Family meetings stopped. Wealth remained. Peace disappeared. Children grew up without knowing their uncles. Grandchildren never played together. One property destroyed a lineage. This is not an isolated story. It happens again and again. Not because siblings are poor, but because inheritance exposes hidden wounds. Such fights happen because parents fail to write clear wills. Favoritism is practiced quietly. Children grow up competing for approval. Greed hides under entitlement. Communication is avoided. Culture discourages early planning. Ego replaces wisdom. Money does not create conflict. It reveals it. For parents, the solution is simple but uncomfortable. Write a clear legal will early. Be transparent while alive. Avoid secret promises. Treat children fairly. Separate management from ownership. Teach unity, not rivalry. Involve neutral professionals. Inheritance should be a blessing, not a curse. Because when parents fail to plan, siblings pay the price. And sometimes, the family never recovers.
Thank you for watching. See you in my next video.